gonna have a party. Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun in the sun with warm weather cuisine that's ideal to serve when you're celebrating a festive summer holiday. So please join me for my jazzy vegetarian barbecue bash.
Jazzy, you're gonna be healthy with the Jazzy vegetarian. Jazzy, so snazzy. We're gonna cook something healthy and light. Jazzy, so snazzy.
So join me in the kitchen right now.
We're gonna cook something healthy and light. That's right.
What better way to party hardy in the sun than to serve a healthy summer meal that all your guests will adore? Colorful Jazzy Shish Kebabs with homemade barbecue sauce stand front and center in this appealing menu. Then I'm going to serve the kebabs over quick quinoa with a tangy Kale and Tomato Salad on the side. Chilled Choco-Peanut Butter Cups make a refreshing but decadent dessert. So let's cool down with some hot barbecue. I love shish kebab. So last summer, I came up with a fabulous recipe that's very versatile, wonderful to serve, whether you're serving omnivores, carnivores, vegans, vegetarians, whoever you're serving, they're just gonna love this. It's really, really fantastic. Now, the star of my shish kebab is seitan. Say what? Seitan. Seitan is based in wheat gluten or vital wheat flour. It takes the place of meat. Once it's marinated in my fabulous barbecue sauce, you almost can't tell the difference. Another thing that I thought I'd share with you today is I actually don't have a grill where I live. And I started to think, a lot of people don't have access to outside grilling in the summertime. So I'm showing you how I do this in the oven. But if you have a grill and you want to make it on the grill, you can certainly do that too. And I'll give you the instructions for that later on in the show. So here we go. We're actually going to get started with my homemade Jazzy vegetarian barbecue sauce. Now, I will admit, sometimes when I'm in a rush and I'm making this last minute, I do use a jarred barbecue sauce, and you can certainly do that. But if you want to whip up a quick and easy homemade version, this is what we're going to do right now. We're going to begin with 1 cup of organic ketchup, any ketchup you like with this, then 1 teaspoon of a good quality balsamic vinegar, 1 teaspoon of tamari. You can use the reduced sodium tamari if you like. Then 1/3 of a cup of molasses. That's what makes this really like an authentic American barbecue sauce. Is that fabulous? Molasses. Then to spice it up, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, a 1/16 to an 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then 2 heaping teaspoons of brown sugar. You can also use maple sugar if you wanted to with this. It's fine and dandy. Now you stir it all up. Wow, that smells good. We're gonna put that aside. I just want you to take a look at that. That is such a great texture. It's nice and thick. It's really going to be beautiful. A nice glaze, a nice thick sauce over our barbecue. And if you like extra barbecue sauce, just do a double batch of this. It will keep for several days in the refrigerator, and you can have extra sauce on the side if you like that. Now let's get to our seitan. Seitan is also called wheat meat. It's called wheat meat because it really takes the place of meat very, very beautifully. So that's what I have today. 16 ounces, or 2 packages, of cubed seitan. Just gonna pour that in my bowl. Here's a little jazzy note. If you can't find seitan, or you cannot have wheat and you want to make this gluten-free, what you do is you buy 16 ounces of extra firm tofu. You want to drain it very, very well and cut it into cubes, and then you're going to marinate it just like you're doing the seitan and use it in your shish kebabs. You can also use tempeh too, by the way. So as you can see, this is so versatile. You can just change it up how you and your family like it, and put the kind of veggies that you find at your farm market on these barbecue skewers. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So we're going to marinate it in our barbecue sauce that we just made. And I'm going to stir in a 1/4 cup of my Jazzy barbecue sauce. You see how that's just nicely coating that seitan up? And what you're going to do is you're going to cover this, just let it set in the refrigerator for an hour or two before you put your skewers together. So I'm getting a little foil to cover this with, just loosely covered. And I'm going to place my seitan in the refrigerator. Now, what else are we going to have on our Jazzy Shish Kebabs? Veggies, veggies, veggies. Love those veggies. I was inspired by this particular mix of veggies when I went to my farm market and they had all these colorful peppers. So I'm starting with 3 sweet peppers. Today I have a yellow pepper, an orange pepper, and a red pepper. And I'm going to cut them into about 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 inch pieces. Doesn't have to be perfect. Cut off the top, cut off the bottom, but the rest of it, just kind of cut your innards out there of your pepper. And then we're just going to cut it into our pieces. Across there. There we go. So I've got everything all chopped here, but what do I have all together? I've got 2 beautiful onions that I picked up at the farm market today. If you can get the sweet onions for this, it's really, really fantastic. Then I have 2 medium zucchini. I've cut them into 1/2 inch slices. Zucchini is fabulous to use in shish kebab and perfect, of course, for summertime. You can buy them very inexpensively at the farm market. Zucchini. I adore cooking with zucchini. It's such a great vegetable to use. Of course, you can just slice it up and steam it. It's also great for baking. Grate it up and add it to your muffins and your cakes to add moisture and a little bit of taste. And of course, you can also stuff zucchini. Just slice it in half and scoop out the pulp. Add that to a pan and saute some mushrooms, add some breadcrumbs, stuff the zucchini, and bake it for about 35 minutes or so in a 400 oven. It's really, really good. So when you see zucchini in your farm market, make sure to pick it up. Zucchini. I've got my 3 sweet peppers, and then I have 20 cherry tomatoes. Then I've got 16 ounces, which is 2 regular packages or a big pack of the cremini mushrooms. All I've done is taken the stems out. You want to leave them whole so they stay on the skewer. Let's get started. Now I'm getting excited. Just throw them all in a big bowl. There are a lot of ingredients in this recipe, but you're going to see it does come together very quickly. And you actually can go ahead and pre-skewer your kebabs several hours in advance if you really want to. Just brush a little extra sauce on them before you cook them if you're doing this for a party. So it makes it really convenient to do when you're having a barbecue bash. So I'm going to add about 3/4 cup of my barbecue sauce. That's going to leave me about a 1/2 cup or so that I'm going to use to brush over my kebabs as they cook. Now you're going to ask me, why am I marinating the seitan separately from the vegetables? Well, if you did the seitan, or particularly if you're doing tofu, the seitan, the tofu will just fall apart. So you do want to make sure to marinate the seitan and the veggies separately. I'm going to get a little wooden spoon. I think that'll kind of get into the crevices here. So you just want to toss those veggies with that barbecue sauce to lightly coat them, just like this. I'm going to cover them with foil. I'm going to let them marinate in the refrigerator for about an hour or up to 2 hours. So let me get those in the fridge. Alrighty, now here is the fun part. I don't know why I get such a kick out of this, but I do. It's so much fun to thread all the little veggies and the seitan onto the bamboo skewers. Now you can use metal skewers for this if that's what you have. Just make sure if you're using bamboo skewers that you soak them in a little bit of filtered or spring water for about a 1/2 hour or so before you skewer your shish kebabs. That way they're wet and they won't burn in the oven. I've got a couple of different size skewers here today I wanted to show you. If you want to make more petite kebabs, You can use the shorter ones. You want to make the longer ones, use the longer ones. Children and people who have a little bit of a lighter appetite might want the shorter skewers. So that's a little jazzy tip. So this is the order that I like to do it in. You can do it however you want. But I do like to put a pepper at the bottom because a pepper makes it very secure. Then a little bit of that marinated seitan. Sometimes I put 2 pieces of the seitan on there. Gives it a little bit more of a meaty flavor. And then some of that nice zucchini. And then a mushroom. Then a little bit of onion. Then another color of pepper. Then I like to put on a nice tomato.
Let's have shish kebabs. Shish, shish, shish kebabs.
All right, so there's my first one.
Cherry tomatoes and onions, sweet peppers, zucchini too. Let's put it all together. We got jazzy shish kebabs.
Wow, we're gonna have a barbecue bash. Look how beautiful these jazzy shish kebabs are, and they're not even cooked yet. Now I'm gonna put them in a 400-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm gonna check on them, put a little bit more of that barbecue sauce on them, and rotate them. Cover them with a little bit of foil, only if they're getting too brown, and let them cook until they're nice and golden. That's just a little jazzy tip. If you're having a big party and you want to do these earlier in the day, at this point you can cover them and put them in the refrigerator and hold them for about 1 to 3 hours before you grill them or cook them in the oven. Now today I'm going to cook these in the oven, but if you want to do them on the grill, you can do them over a medium heat, about 10 to 15 minutes on each side. Next up, what would a barbecue bash be without a rich and decadent dessert? Oh yeah, I'm going to do my Choco-Peanut Butter Cups. Really good.
Choco-Peanut Butter Cups.
These are kind of like those store-bought peanut butter cups that you can't buy vegan, and I decided to make a little jazzy version. I've done a little twist. They're kind of these solid little chocolate candies with a peanut butter punch in them. Really, really good. What I'm using is a double boiler. I have a makeshift double boiler, which I actually like to use for this. Taking a pot, about 1 or 2 inches of water in it, bring it up to a simmer, and then just a glass or a stainless steel bowl that fits in nicely. That's absolutely perfect for making these peanut butter cups. And I'm beginning with chocolate, of course. I've got 3/4 of a cup of vegan chocolate chips. These are fairly easy to find in your marketplace these days. We're going to put that in there and let them melt. Now on to our quick quinoa. And you know quinoa really is quick. And the great thing about this, I like to serve it lukewarm or almost room temperature under my shish kebabs. So you can make it a little bit in advance like I'm doing today. For those of you that haven't had quinoa before, you're going to rinse it really well several times under cold running water and then drain it very well. But quinoa is a seed. See what that looks like? It's a little tiny seed. But when it cooks, it kind of tastes like a cross between millet and brown rice. I'm starting off with 1 cup of quinoa. I've rinsed it very, very well, drained it well. You could also use red quinoa with this if you like. That would be really festive. I'm adding 2 cups of filtered or spring water. Now to give it some taste, I take 1 vegan bouillon cube and I just crumble that right into the water. That's all you need to do. I'm going to bring it on to a medium heat. And once it comes to a simmer, you're going to bring it down to a medium-low heat. It's going to cook up in 15 to 17 minutes. So let's get back to our fabulous Choco-Peanut Butter Cups. And this is just about melted up here. It's nice and smooth. That is perfect. Now you're going to be very, very careful at this point. You want to turn your heat off. I like to take this with a hot pad and put this on a heat-resistant pad on top of my counters. And then, of course, we need some peanut butter, and I'm using 1/3 cup of smooth peanut butter. Make sure to only use non-hydrogenated peanut butter. And then we do need to sweeten it up just a little bit. So we're just going to put in 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. Yum, yum, yum. And you want to work a little bit quickly here because that peanut butter is going to immediately cool down that chocolate. And it is going to start to set up. I've got some very little festive mini cupcake liners. I'm going to take a scoop of this chocolate, just spoon that chocolate right into the cup. What I have is a 12-hold mini muffin tin, and I've lined it out with 10 liners. It's a little bit messy, but it is a little bit fun, I must say. I take a little offset spatula and just swirl it around. And get that little peak I'm doing right there is kind of fun, but really whatever you like. Because we're going to put these in the freezer for 20 minutes to really get them to set up. And then we're going to put them into the refrigerator for at least another 30 minutes or so. And they're going to be our fabulous Choco-Peanut Butter Cups. So I'm going to finish up my quinoa, and we're almost there. It's almost chow time. So let me get these in the freezer now. So my quinoa has been cooking for about 12 to 14 minutes. The last 2 minutes, I'm going to stir in a little bit of fresh parsley. And it's going to add beautiful color to this quinoa. So I'm going to pop the top back on there and let it cook for about 2 more minutes, fluff it up, and leave it to room temperature to serve under our fabulous Jazzy Shish Kebabs. Now on to our fantastic Kale and Tomato Salad. I just love kale, and I love kale salad. Now, the first time I heard about using kale in a salad, I thought, goodness, that's going to taste kind of yucky. But you know what? Not only does it not taste yucky, it tastes fantastic. When you pair kale with a yummy dressing, let it marinate for a little while. It just turns into this really delicate, lovely, crunchy tasting green. And here's what I have today, all my beautiful types of kale. Here, of course, we have our dinosaur kale. I can usually get this at the farmer's market in the summertime. And then my red Russian kale. I always get so excited when I see red Russian kale. Of course, it's red, and don't know why they call it Russian, but it's red Russian. And then here is our basic curly kale that is easily found in the supermarket all year round. So the cool thing is you can make this salad any time of year. I'm going to go ahead and mix these 3 kinds of kale in this salad, but you can use one. They're all interchangeable. So I'm starting off with 1 large leaf of this dinosaur kale. You can just pull the kale right off like that. I roll the kale up, and then we're just going to do a nice chiffonade style cut on this. And then we're going to cut it across. We're going to have nice little bite-sized ribbons of our beautiful kale. So I've got 3 cups of kale that I'm using today. 1 cup of the curly kale, 1 cup of the red Russian kale, and 1 cup of the dinosaur kale.
Kale, kale, kale salad.
I smell those shish kebabs a-bobbin'. Wow. Nice and brown, getting a little crispy on top. That is oven barbecue. Looks and tastes almost just like you did it on the grill, but you can do it in your own home oven. I just love that. Grab them out. Those are beautiful. So I gotta get going because I want to taste those shish kebabs. So we need a sauce for our kale. And I'm starting off with 1 teaspoon of a good quality balsamic vinegar, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and 1 nice tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Put the top on and blend. Pour that in your bowl. And I'm going to do 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, finely minced. Oh, that smells good. That smells good. Oh, yeah. We're just going to toss that dressing right into that kale. We're going to toss the kale with the dressing, and we're going to leave it to marinate for 30 minutes to an hour. You can serve it right away if you want to, but it's nice to just kind of let that dressing soak into the kale. You could actually make it a couple of hours beforehand. And right before we serve it, we're going to dress it up with a little salt, a little pepper. We're going to dress it up with 10 grape tomatoes, which I've cut in half, but we're going to toss that in at the last minute so those tomatoes keep a nice, fresh taste to them. I bet you can't wait to taste this. Hey, you know what? I can't wait to taste it. I got to get this whole meal together for you, plate it up, and then I'm going to taste it for you, so stick around. It's a barbecue bash. Look at my festive spread. I just can't wait to give it a taste. If I want to do a couple of courses in a summer meal like this, I serve my kale and tomato salad as the first course. And this has been marinating in that dressing for about 30 minutes. I tossed in the tomatoes at the last minute, so I'm going to take a little bite. I love this. It's so crunchy, too. That is so good. That mustard, that maple, a little bit of the balsamic actually softens that kale. It is so delicious. If you haven't liked kale in the past, try it this way. You're going to love it. Now, my gorgeous shish kebab. Isn't that beautiful? This is the way I like to serve it up. Over the quinoa, then everybody can have a little bit of fun. Taking that shish kebab right off the skewer like that. And look at that fantastic seitan. Almost looks like meat, the way it's cooked up with our shish kebab. A little pepper for my first bite. That's gonna make you happy. There's a little bit of kick in that sauce. Remember we put a little bit of cayenne in there? It's just perfect this way. Keeps those veggies and that seitan all nice and moist while it roasts in the oven. I just love it. Now, last but not least, my fabulous little peanut butter cups. Look how cute these are. This is how they are when they come out of the freezer or the refrigerator in their pretty little festive cups. And then before you serve them, take the little cups off and they have the pretty little ridges on them. You take a little bite. Can't wait for this. Wow. You're really going to want to try this, my Choco-Peanut Butter Cups. I've had such a great time cooking and sharing my barbecue menu with a twist. So when you're looking to prepare festive warm weather fare, please consider the recipes from today's show. So until next time, be happy, be healthy, and be well. From the Jazzy Vegetarian.
Visit our website at jazzyvegetarian.com to connect with Laura, see videos, find your favorite recipes, and more. Follow Laura on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Companion cookbooks to the Jazzy Vegetarian series contain beautiful full-color photos and include recipes featured each season.
This 10th anniversary edition companion cookbook features full-color photos, menu plans, and over 120 recipes.
For more information or to order, visit jazzyvegetarian.com.
Organic love, 100% natural. Yes, it is now. Organic love. I've got no additives or no preservatives. It's real intuitive. It's downright primitive. Organic love is 100% natural. Yes, it is now.